need to know how to code to build a professional data analytics dashboard anymore. And I'm gonna prove it to you in this video by building an entire dashboard from scratch using only a spreadsheet and AI. Now look, I've been in data for 8 years and I've built plenty of dashboards the hard way. You know, SQL, Tableau licenses, Python, but I wanna show you what's possible now in 2026 with all the AI advancements, because the game has changed. We're gonna be doing some vibe coding, and before you roll your eyes, stick with me, because learning how to leverage AI well is what's gonna make some data analysts really take off this year and others not get hired. And as I'm building live, I'm gonna walk you through my top 5 best practice tips for building dashboards as a data analyst. And I'll even show you how to kiss. No, not that kissing. You'll have to stay tuned to find out what I mean. Now let's open up a cold one and get started. Woo! Don't worry, y'all, it's just sparkling water. First thing I'm gonna do is go to Replit, because this is one of my favorite vibe coding platforms, and now you can actually build entire dashboards and data visualizations in here. So just trust me, it's the best platform for vibe coding. It's also really easy to use, which is good because I'm not a developer. So first thing I'm gonna do is get the bones of my app built, and I'm gonna make an app that anybody can upload a spreadsheet into, and then AI is just gonna figure out how to turn it into a dashboard. So based on whatever data I give it, it's gonna determine what visualizations to make and how to organize everything into a clear dashboard. Not only is it more fun to make it interactive this way, where people can actually upload a spreadsheet, but it also makes it automated and reusable in the future. So here's the exact prompt I'm gonna use. I'm gonna say, make me an app that anybody can input a spreadsheet, and then it creates a dashboard visualizing the results. And my favorite question to add at the end of AI prompts is, ask me any questions needed to clarify. This prompt is really simple and minimal, but I'm doing that on purpose so I can see what it's gonna create for me, and then I can iterate as I go. So it looks like it's working on a bunch of different pieces in parallel, and it's planning out all the different pieces of the app. So a place to upload a spreadsheet, auto detecting all the fields in the data set, designing all the charts that are gonna go into the dashboard, and summary data descriptive statistics for the entire data set, which is awesome. I love metadata. That just made me sound like a giant nerd, didn't it? Right now, the agent is doing all the work, so I'm just gonna sit here while it builds everything out for me. Do 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 do.
A few minutes later.
And voila, she's ready. It's a very simple and minimal UI, which honestly is kind of a good thing if it's really easy to use, as long as it works. But the question is, does it actually work like it's supposed to? I'm gonna go straight to my GitHub and grab a data set. It's gonna be the exact data set from my free 5-day data career kickstart mini course. So if you wanna grab that data set, you can grab it below. And now let's upload it into my app and see what kind of initial dashboard it builds for us. Why am I kind of nervous? Okay, at a first glance, not bad. I love the metadata at the top. It tells us what's in our data set. And then we have some basic distribution charts like orders by country, orders over time, and some metadata and summarized things at the bottom. And this brings me to dashboard tip number 1. Kiss. Not that kind of kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS is an old saying, basically meaning keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. And that's the number 1 tip you should keep in mind with dashboards, because so many people put so many bells and whistles and so many different charts, and it's very distracting to stakeholders. So truly, stick to the basics: line graphs, bar charts, tables. That's gonna answer and accomplish 99% of business problems for stakeholders. Don't over-engineer it, keep it simple. Go try Replit Agent 4 for your next data project or app. You can brainstorm the idea, generate UI variants in the canvas, connect to a spreadsheet or API, and keep iterating with natural language prompts until it works the way you want it to. Agent 4 can actually work on multiple things in parallel. So it's like having a team of developers all working together in parallel while you just focus on your vision. And now you can do everything in one project, including slide decks, mobile apps, and data apps. Try it out in the link below. Next, I do think a problem with this dashboard is that a lot of the visualization titles are very unclear. If you look at the visualization labels, like the titles, the x-axis, and the y-axis, they don't really make sense and tell the reader what the visualization is showing. So now I'm gonna go into the chatbot and iterate with my agent and say, can you edit the titles on the visualization and the X and Y axes when applicable to be super specific about what is being shown and calculated? And while it's building, I'm gonna tell you dashboard tip number 2 for data analysts. Tip number 2 is add clear labels to everything. Don't assume that stakeholders know what's being calculated and they're just gonna understand. And most certainly don't leave the column names on the x-axis or y-axis. Stakeholders don't think in column names. So be very specific so it's clear for anybody to understand what is being visualized. Also be sure to include the units. Are we speaking in dollars, people, percentages, month over month? Non-technical stakeholders should be able to look at your dashboard and immediately know what's going on. Okay, this looks a lot better, but I think we need to make it look a little prettier. Right now, it looks a little cookie cutter and basic. And personally, I kind of want to put this dashboard into dark mode because A, it's easier on the eyes to read, and B, it just looks a lot more cooler and techy. And we want to look cooler and techy, right? So now with no code, only vibes, I'm gonna ask my agent, make the colors and design look like dark mode and be sure you edit all the colors accordingly so everything is super easy to read. And while it's doing that, dashboard best practice tip for data analyst number 3 is choose the right colors. Color is one of the most misused and overlooked things in dashboard design. People think that colors on dashboards are all about making things look pretty and artsy, but that is so far from the truth. Colors should be chosen in a way that help tell the story of the data. So first of all, colors need to make it super easy for people to read and see what's going on. You don't want to put a light yellow line on a white background. That's hard to read. Similarly, if you're visualizing KPIs, you want to have a positive KPI as green or a negative KPI as red. If you were to switch those and have something good that was red or bad that was green, it would look kind of funny. So you have to be very intentional about the colors that you tell because they can very much influence the storytelling that you're doing with your data. And of course, it's always really good to keep in mind being accessible. So if somebody has a disability or color blindness, you want to take that into consideration as well, along with considering other cultures. If you work on an international team, different cultures have different meanings for different colors. Okay, this dark mode actually looks really good. We might have to adjust the colors a little bit more later on because the blue and purple on the blue background are a little hard to read, but overall, I love how the white text is really popping now. And the dark mode just gives it a little bit more of a finished, polished look. By the way, I'm actually going to go into the canvas right now and I can look at different variants of the UI, and I'm going to circle this spreadsheet dashboard title and see if we can change that. And I'll be honest, I don't really know what we should change it to. I'm kind of just having fun with this, so I'm just gonna leave it up to AI. I'm gonna say, can we make this title cuter and fun to represent the theme of the dashboard? And yes, I know that cuter and fun are very subjective words, but we're just gonna see what AI comes up with. And now presenting Data Spark. Apparently AI thinks that's the perfect name for my dashboard, and I'll be honest, I don't hate it. Okay, so I just realized a potential issue with my spreadsheet. I think it might be a little random as to what visualizations are generated. So to kind of narrow that down and reel things in a little bit, I have an idea. I wanna add a text box right where someone uploads a spreadsheet where they can put in business questions that they want answered with the dashboard. That way, if someone has a very specific goal for the dashboard and questions that they really wanna make sure get answered, AI will take that into consideration when building out the visualizations and dashboard. So I'm gonna ask the agent, can you also add a text box for someone to add in business questions they have about the data that can be submitted with the spreadsheet? I want the business questions to be considered when designing the dashboard. And again, I'm just using very simple natural language prompts and basically explaining what I want. Now it's gonna rebuild the entire front end of my dashboard. Do, 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 do. All right, and it added the text box, and not only that, it also added some example questions and instructions for the user, which I love. I didn't even think to ask for that, but that's gonna make my dashboard building app even more useful for people because now they're gonna know what this random text box is for. So shout out to AI for thinking ahead and being smarter than me. And that brings me to dashboard tip number 4 for data analysts. Focus on business questions. If you have a bunch of random charts that aren't actually doing anything or answering business questions, they're literally useless. If you don't know what business questions are important, go ask your stakeholders. Go ask leaders at your company. Go ask managers. What questions are people and stakeholders asking your data team? Those are the important business questions that you need to be thinking about when designing a dashboard. And that's gonna help non-technical stakeholders self-serve and figure out the answers on their own. Every visualization and piece of your dashboard should point to some business question. Otherwise, it's clutter and it's distracting. All right, and here's our final result. I also love that we have these little drop-down filters here where we can choose what is being visualized. Dashboard tip number 5 for data analysts is add filters. If you've ever worked with a stakeholder before, you know how much stakeholders love filters. They want to be able to filter their data sets and get what they actually need. Not only does it make the dashboard a lot more flexible and useful to cater to their specific use case, but it also helps offload data work from your team and onto them. Because if you give stakeholders what they actually want and give them the tools to self-serve, that's less work for you because they can go filter and get the data they need to answer their business questions. So always consider filters for different dimensions that make sense for the dashboard. Usually things like dates, products, regions, team, channel, and anything else that might be important. So there we have it, no code, just prompts. That's what vibe coding actually looks like when you apply it to something real. Is this gonna replace knowing SQL and knowing how to work with data? Probably not. But vibe coding like this is great for prototyping, demos, or even launching your own products and apps. So every data professional needs to know how to vibe code. And if you want to build your own project, dashboard, or app from scratch, try out Replit in the link below.